about his free agency for the first time within the last hour here at Fanatics Fest in New York City. He was on stage with Pacers star Tyrese Halliburton to do a live taping of his podcast, Mind the Game, but he gave his most illuminating answer about where he could go next to a young fan whose name was Eli.
How do you feel about being a free agency, and what do you want to do in your next team, and how do you want to develop it as a member?
First of all, that was a hell of a question, and some of the media people in here probably should learn from me, young fella. Y'all heard this question, right? So how do I feel about free agency? Obviously, it's a big decision. This is the third time in my career that I've been a free agent. I think 3, yeah. So it's a big decision for not only myself, but for my family as well, and just for the last part of my career and where I want to spend the last few years, or the last year, or the last 2 years of, my NBA career. So wherever I go, Elon, I will make my staple on I'm a natural born leader. I'm gonna try to fit into whatever team I'm going into, but also, give them all the tools and give them all the knowledge that I've been able to, grasp over the last 23 years. I know the game. I know the ins and outs about the game of basketball. Oh, I appreciate it, man. You far too kind, man. You awesome. And wherever I land, I hope that you support me and I can continue to inspire you, all right?
Some tremendous delivery there from young Eli, and we have a seat for you right here on NBA Today when you're ready. But Brian Windhorst is beaming in now. Brian, this is the first time, at least I can recall, that LeBron saying, well, maybe it's the next year or next 2 when talking about the amount of time that he may want to play here. What stood out to you from what we heard in that hour?
And that was about all that was newsworthy for people who are desperate to hear where LeBron is going to go. And by the way, that includes the teams who are trying to get him. They're desperate for that information, too. And respectfully, it is not his 3rd free agency. It is his 4th. And it's fast becoming the longer than all of the previous free agencies put together. And there had been some hope that today there was not really an expectation within the league that LeBron would reveal where he was going to go today. But what teams, and when I say teams, I'm not talking about just your average fan here. Because Malika, when I was in Las Vegas this week at Summer League, the teams that are trying to get him are talking to each other. They're talking to me. They're saying, what are you hearing? There's been no information coming from LeBron or Rich Paul about what he's thinking. And not so much about what he's picking, but what is important to him. Whether style of play will be important, whether role, whether he wants to have a certain limitation on his minutes or games. Those are things that the teams would, if they had that information, they could potentially improve their bid, improve their hand. And I expect that to happen after he selects a team. But the ball was not moved forward today at all.
Well, maybe there's a little bit more that we can glean from those who were actually in the room. Dave McMenamin was at the Mind the Game taping and joins us now. So, Dave, from actually being there, what was the most important insight maybe that we gained, if any?
Well, actually, Brian Windhorst texted me after he saw some of the clips coming out, and he said, beard dye. And we've seen all summer he had that.
I'm excited to dive into the latest updates on LeBron James' free agency, and I have to say, it's getting more intriguing by the day. As we all know, LeBron is one of the most dominant players in the NBA, and his decision on where to play next season will have a significant impact on the league. Recently, LeBron made some comments about his free agency, and I want to break down what he said and what it might mean for his future. LeBron was on stage with Tyrese Halliburton, doing a live taping of his podcast, Mind the Game, when he was asked about his free agency. He gave a thoughtful response, acknowledging that it's a big decision, not just for him, but for his family as well. He mentioned that he's a natural-born leader and wants to make a positive impact on whichever team he joins. He also expressed his gratitude to the Lakers organization, specifically mentioning Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka. What struck me about LeBron's comments was his emphasis on being a leader and wanting to make a difference. He's clearly thinking about his legacy and how he wants to be remembered in the NBA. He's also considering what's best for his family, which is understandable given his age and the stage of his career. As I listened to his words, I couldn't help but wonder what team would be the best fit for him. One of the most interesting aspects of LeBron's free agency is the possibility of him teaming up with Giannis Antetokounmpo in Miami. There have been rumors circulating about this potential partnership, and it's hard not to get excited about the prospect of 2 of the league's best players joining forces. Can you imagine the dominance they would bring to the court? It's a tantalizing thought, and I'm sure many fans are hoping it becomes a reality. However, as enticing as this scenario is, we have to consider the reality of the situation. The Miami Heat are already a solid team, and adding LeBron to the mix would require some significant roster adjustments. Not to mention, there are other teams in the running for LeBron's services, and it's far from a done deal that he'll end up in Miami. As I pondered LeBron's comments and the potential implications, I found myself asking questions. What does LeBron really want? Is he looking for a championship, or is he more focused on building a legacy? How important is it for him to be the undisputed leader of a team, and would he be willing to take a back seat to someone like Giannis? These are all valid questions, and the answers will likely become clearer in the coming days. I also couldn't help but think about the other teams that are vying for LeBron's attention. The Lakers, despite his exit, are still a viable option, and there are rumors that they're trying to make a push to bring him back. The Warriors and Sixers are also in the mix, and it's possible that LeBron could consider joining one of these teams. The possibilities are endless, and it's going to be fascinating to watch this all play out. As the days turn into weeks, and the weeks turn into months, the LeBron James free agency saga will continue to dominate the headlines. It's a story that's captivating the NBA world, and I'm thrilled to be along for the ride. I'll be keeping a close eye on developments, and I'm excited to see how it all unfolds. Will LeBron join forces with Giannis in Miami, or will he choose a different path? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, it's going to be an exciting ride. I think what's most interesting about this situation is the way it's unfolding. We're seeing a side of LeBron that we don't often get to see, and it's giving us a glimpse into his thought process and priorities. He's being careful and deliberate in his decision-making, and it's clear that he's considering all his options. As a fan, it's thrilling to watch, and I'm sure I'm not alone in my excitement. As the news continues to break, I'll be here, analyzing and discussing every twist and turn. I want to hear from you, too. What do you think LeBron will do? Do you think he'll join Giannis in Miami, or do you see him going elsewhere? Let me know in the comments, and let's keep the conversation going. This is an unprecedented moment in NBA history, and I'm honored to be a part of it. In the end, only LeBron knows what he truly wants, and we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. But one thing is certain, the NBA will be watching with bated breath as LeBron James makes his decision. It's a moment that will shape the future of the league, and I'm excited to be along for the ride. So, stay tuned, folks, it's going to be a wild ride. I'll be back with more updates and analysis as the situation develops. Thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you all in the next video.